Kennedy something else, ain't he? Oh, my goodness.
What is your response to Chuck Schumer's proposal here to keep those ACA benefits going for another year, bipartisan committee to work on those, and reopen the government with a clean CR?
God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. Senator Schumer says we should just extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means that we would have to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it directly to the health insurance companies without any commitment of lowering premiums. How is that going to reduce health care costs? How's that going to reduce premiums? The health care companies are going to take $35 billion from the taxpayers and put it into their pockets. I mean, duh. I don't know what Senator Schumer is thinking. Earth to Chuck. I mean, earth to Chuck. Am I going to vote for this? The short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. I think we're just going to have to get used to the fact that we've been in a shutdown. We're going to be in a shutdown for a while. I voted 14 times to lift the shutdown. The Democrats and Senator Rand Paul have voted 14 times to keep the government shut down. We're just going to be here.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Like we say, term limits, except Senator Kennedy. Senator Kennedy is exempt. God bless Senator Kennedy, man. Coming out once again and keeping it real, man. It's an absolute disgrace, you know. And as y'all know, he just put out 2 bills for Congress to not be paid during shutdowns, that they don't receive a paycheck. And he just mentioned Rand Paul just there. And guess what Rand Paul just voted against? Yeah. Not receiving his paycheck. But I ought to tell you something. What an absolute disgrace, man, with these politicians, Democrats, these Republicans, especially these rhino Republicans. I tell you, man, we just can't win with these people, man. We just can't, you know. There's only just a small few, you know. But Senator Kennedy, once again, breaking the internet. And he's keeping it real, man. And we're going to expose this in broad daylight for what it is. So let's go and jump into this. If you're new here, join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We are rocking and rolling 24/7, 7 days a week. Share the video. You know, invite new patriots over. You know, let's go and rock out, man. You just can't make this up.
I don't know what else to do. I voted 14 times to open up government. I can't change the election. President Trump was duly elected president of the United States. He was. in a free election. And the American people spoke.
Loud and clear.
And some of my colleagues are upset about that. In fact, they hate the president so much, they've shut down government. They hate him so much that if President Trump came out in favor of breathing to live, they would hold their breath.
Facts.
It's not rational.
Facts.
And I just don't know what else to do. All I can tell my Democratic friends is, look, reasonable people disagree, and I get it. But you're just being too emotional. You need to go drink a big, old, cold, tall glass of get over it and realize that President Trump is the President of the United States.
Get over it.
Don't shut government down because of it.
Check this out. I just reposted this on my page on X. And if you guys don't follow me on X, follow me on X. I will follow you back and show some love to you at OkayRickk. But like I was saying just a second ago, you know, when we were talking about Rand Paul, but Trump actually, you know, just tweeted and put something out on Truth Social. And Senator Kennedy reposted it. And but Trump said, it's so interesting. Yesterday, when our great senator from Louisiana, John Kennedy, introduced a bill in an attempt to withhold members of Congress from getting paid, and Rand Paul, who never votes for anything, tried to stop it because he wanted to be paid. In other words, Rand wanted to pay the people who stopped government from working. What's going on with Rand? And as you know, Senator Kennedy says, thank you, President of the United States. We can't fund the government. We don't deserve our paychecks. That's common sense to the American people. But unfortunately, common sense is illegal in Washington. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Now, I know, Senator, that you tried to get federal workers paid tonight and then to block pay for members of Congress.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I had two bills look, I haven't been taking my salary. Some colleagues have. That I'm not putting anybody down. I just think there ought to be one rule for everybody, and nobody else is being paid, so I don't think members of Congress ought to be paid. And I offered the Senate two bills. One was a spicy version, and one was a mild version. I started with the spicy. But both of my bills were blocked. There were a bunch of Democrats on the floor. I thought they were going to block them, but Senator Rand Paul blocked both of my bills, and that was kind of a disappointment.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Look, I watched this weekend where some of my colleagues said, oh, we'll be out of the shutdown by Thursday. By Friday, they were very confident. So I entered the week optimistic, and some of my Republican colleagues are meeting with the Democrats. In fact, most members of the Senate are running around like ants in a sugar bowl, like a bunch of headless chickens. But in my opinion, we're nowhere near getting out of this shutdown. The Democrats, supposedly we were told today at lunch that we're going to have a vote tomorrow, and that the so-called moderate Democrats have come together and they're going to support us. I think they're still stamping their little feet. I don't believe they will support us. And I've never believed any of this stuff. Around here, it's not what you say, it's what you do that shows what you believe, and everything else is just cottage cheese. I think we're going to be shut down at least 10 more days, maybe 2 weeks, maybe longer than that. And I don't know what else to do. I've voted 14 times to open up government. They voted 14 times to keep it closed down, and all they ever do is talk and stamp their little feet and keep government shut down and blame us.
If you don't know, this is, you know, why they are saying hell no, hold the line to Chuck Schumer after he just said this. Well, this a couple of hours ago.
Reopens. Therefore, we'd like to offer a simple proposal that would reopen the government and extend the ACA premium tax credits simultaneously, and then have the opportunity to start negotiating longer-term solutions to health care costs. Let's do all three. I've spoken with my caucus, and Democrats are offering a very simple compromise. Democrats are ready to clear the way to quickly pass a government funding bill that includes health care affordability. Leader Thune just needs to add a clean one-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR so that we can immediately address rising health care costs. That's not a negotiation. It's an extension of current law, something we do all the time around here, as we all know. But we also offer this. Let's create a bipartisan committee that will continue negotiations after the government reopens on reforms ahead of next year's enrollment period to provide long-term certainty that health care costs will be more affordable. This proposal reopens the government and ensures working families who are shopping right now for their health care get certainty and financial relief. While open enrollment has begun, insurers can update their rates after we pass a simple extension of the tax credits. With this approach, we do not negotiate health care in the shutdown, as Leader Thune has maintained he wishes, and the American people get the tax credit extension they want. That is what many of our Republican colleagues have floated over the last 6 weeks as a compromise, a one-year tax credit extension and reforms to the credit beyond that. We will agree with the Republican request not to start negotiations until after the government reopens. All Republicans have to do is say yes to extend current law for 1 year. It makes sense. And since what we're proposing is only a simple extension of current law, the Senate could do this within a few hours. This is a reasonable offer that reopens the government, deals with health care affordability, and begins a process of negotiating reforms to the ACA tax credits for the future. Now, the ball is in the Republicans' court. We need Republicans to just say yes. I yield to Senator Peters.
You were just listening to Senator Chuck Schumer, who was laying out the unified Democratic proposal, was how he framed it, which is a bill to reopen, a resolution to reopen the federal government, as well as a one-year extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies that have been at the heart of the Democratic asks over the course of the last 39 days at this point in time, and then a commitment to negotiate for a longer-term deal on those subsidies.
Are you willing to vote to eliminate the filibuster, Senator?
Well, President Trump has made his position, at least to me, abundantly clear. I talked to him this morning. He makes a persuasive argument, but here's in essence what he's going to say, or what he has said, rather. None of us want to get rid of the filibuster, but the Democrats are going to do it as soon as they're back in charge, so we might as well do it now. My response to the president this morning, after listening politely, was, well, the quickest way, the best way to prevent all that is let's don't put the Democrats back in charge. There's no guarantee that the Democrats are going to take over the Senate in the midterm elections, or even after that. The filibuster only pertains to the Senate. It doesn't pertain to the House. So to keep the Democrats from doing that, we just hold the Senate, which we're planning on doing.
Well, that's going to be a big project, obviously, for Republicans for the next 18 months. Senator Kennedy, thank you very much. Always good to hear from you, sir. We'll see where this goes on this Friday afternoon. Your response to Chuck Schumer's proposal here to keep those ACA benefits going for another year, bipartisan committee to work on those and reopen the government with a clean CR.
God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. What Senator Schumer is suggesting is that we do the dumbest thing possible that won't work. Stupid should hurt more. Senator Schumer says we should just extend the status quo for a year. What does that mean? That means that we would have to take $35 billion of taxpayer money and give it directly to the health insurance companies without any commitment of lowering premiums. How is that going to reduce health care costs? How's that going to reduce premiums? the healthcare companies are going to take $35 billion from the taxpayers and put it into their pockets. I mean, duh. I don't know what Senator Schumer is thinking. Earth to Chuck. I mean, earth to Chuck. Am I going to vote for this? The short answer is no. The long answer is hell no. I think we're just going to have to get used to the fact that we've been in a shutdown. We're going to be in a shutdown for a while. I voted 14 times to lift the shutdown. The Democrats and Senator Rand Paul have voted 14 times to keep the government shut down. We're just going to be here for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like what Senator Schumer just proposed is really any different than where Democrats have been all along. They wanted $1.5 trillion. You say $36 billion. I guess there's a lot of different numbers on this package, but to keep the Obamacare benefits were expanded during COVID. And of course, once you give something, very hard to claw it back. So that's where we are right now. And so the impact is of having that extension pulled away is making people's new health care benefits rise. But as you say, it's not fixing the problem in terms of lowering costs. Is there any, I just spoke with the former Governor Sununu, and he said, what they need to do is accept Senator Thune's next proposal and agree on it and get Democrats across the board on it. What do you think that is going to look like?
He's just going to bring up the same resolution that he's brought up 14 times. Look, if we've learned anything during this shutdown, we've learned that the Obamacare Affordable Care Act exchanges, they're not working. They're not lowering health care costs. Extending the status quo will just be putting fresh paint on rotten wood.
So
Why would we want to do that?
Excuse me. President Trump has a solution, and he talked about it again today.